So I want to talk about my boy Paul George, and obviously everyone knows he was eliminated by the Cavs this year. And I want to talk about where's the best destination for Paul George. So there's a couple good places out there. I'm not gonna start with the best place first. I'm just gonna start with some places people probably haven't thought about, or a place I think would be good for him. All these places I think he can win a championship eventually. Some quicker than others, but that's the whole goal. Go to some place where you can win a championship. I've heard talks. Well, first let me talk about where he should not go. Do not go to the Lakers. Okay, do not go to the LA Lakers. They are in a rebuild process, and none of their young pieces have any inkling of superstar written on them yet. Not to say that they couldn't. Not to say that there isn't any superstar potential on there. Obviously, they have a lot of young talent that could be something, but it's not going to happen for at least 3 or 4 years before we see something from these guys, and it may never happen. So, do not go to the Lakers. That's number one. Do not go to New York. The Knicks, they're a mess. Phil Jackson. Great coach. Don't really know what to say about his general manager skills. Not the best I've seen. Pretty bad, actually. I mean, you're bringing in Derrick Rose and Joakim Noah. I mean, that was awful. And I'm not as mad at the Derrick Rose bring-in, but Joakim for $90 million? For what, 4 or 5? You just got locked into a 4 or 5 year deal with Joakim Noah, a guy who he can't even. He's like paper mache now. So you have a $90 million dead body on your squad right now. So obviously, do not go to the Knicks. Do not stay in Indiana. You've been there for a long time. You're 26, and it's time to move on. If you've learned anything from Durant, if we've learned anything from LeBron, anything from KG, anything from Charles Barkley, to those guys, like maybe waited too late to get together. Although Barkley had a great team and went to finals, he just meant Mike. And that's the thing. You're just gonna meet LeBron. At the end of the day, you're meeting LeBron, and in the West you got Golden State. So it's like. It's tough. It's a tough landscape. These next 2 or 3 years, it's either going to be Golden State or LeBron. Maybe the Spurs can sneak in, but the Spurs, they're kind of falling off. Those guys are finally getting old, and LaMarcus isn't balling. So yeah. So obviously, like I said, Lakers no, Knicks no, stay with the Pacers no. Now, Here's I'm gonna tell you my sleeper team to try to go to. Okay, this is my sleeper team. If you can get on to the Minnesota Timberwolves, okay, this team has so much young talent that's just about ready to bust, just about ready to explode. These guys are on the edge. Karl Anthony Towns is already better than Paul George, first off. So let's get that. Like, don't even trip. Karl Anthony Towns is. I like offensively. I compare Karl Anthony Towns and Anthony Davis to a David Robinson and Hakeem. They're right at that level right now to me. Offensively, defensively, I don't think they'll never be at that level that those two were. But offensively, they're there right now. I mean, Karl Anthony Towns, his touch around the rim is just. Oh, it just goes in every time he's within 10. If he's within like 6 feet, 7 feet, he's got that touch, man. That touch is just nice. I love Karl Anthony Towns. A lot of people are low on Wiggins, okay? Keep in mind, Thibodeau came in, brand new coach for the Wolves, brand new systems, complex systems. So a guy like Wiggins, and all of them are gonna, it's gonna be a learning curve, and. So I think that's what we saw a lot with Wiggins. But, I mean, people are down on him. He was 21 to start the season. He's 22 now. He's had humongous games. He's probably had among 2 or 3 top 20 games this year in the league. Scoring wise, anyway. I mean, he's gotta distribute, gotta get rebounds. We know that, and gotta defend better. But I see nothing that tells me that Wiggins won't be a 7 rebound guy and 4 assist guy. So if he can give us 25, 7, and 4 every night, that's a good player. I'm sorry, that's a really good player. So, you got those two. I love Levine. He tore his ACL last year, but I don't think it's going to slow him down at all. I think he's going to come out on a mission. Guy works super hard. I love Levine. And I love Dunn. A lot of people are low on Dunn. People just look at the numbers. People just don't understand. They don't. A lot of fans, I've noticed this, they can't see past the numbers. They can't look at a player and look at his movements and see that, oh wait, this guy moves differently. This guy's a really good athlete. This guy, can do things with just, and you can tell within one step of what kind of if you're dealing with what kind of athlete you're dealing with, or the movements he makes. Dunn is special. Dunn is a special player. People don't realize it, and they'll see. He's gonna be a really good point guard in the NBA. I can't go all the way in and say that he's gonna, be an all-star, because Damon Lillard hasn't even been an all-star, and I think if he can get the Lillard status, we'll all be happy. I don't think he's gonna be a Lillard type player, but I think he can be a Gary Payton type player. He's not gonna be bombing threes all over the place, but I think he'll get to the hole. I think he'll finish at the hole, and he will defend like a madman. And I think he's got great handles. He's a great athlete. He was just very timid this year in Tibbs' offense. He played not to make a mistake. When you play that, you're not going to play good. You're going to play very laid back, and But like I said, the last game of the season, he went out there and started 16 assists. You can sleep on this guy if you want to. Sleep on him if you want to, but you're just proving that you really can't. You can't spot talent when you see it. All you can do is look at numbers if you think Dunn is trash. You're not a talent scout, you're not a talent evaluator. You cannot look at these guys. Russell Westbrook wasn't pounding and putting up a whole bunch of stats at UCLA, but someone was smart enough to say, "Hey, wait, we want that guy because look at he can do this and this and this. Look at the way he moves. Look at his athleticism. Look at his drive." So I just don't listen to the people that are low on Dunn. It's just I can't really blame that many people for being low on Dunn, but at the same time, it does tell me a lot about their ability to gauge talent, and it's low. I just don't when you judge a rookie harshly like that in a new system. I'm all for judging people how they are, but you have to be able to look a little bit deeper sometimes. So and Ricky Rubio, I'm not the biggest fan of Ricky Rubio, but he balled last year. After the first couple months, he had a cold 2 months. He started off, but after he made that, after he got that ball from Towns and didn't shoot it underneath the rim wide open, he changed his game because Towns yelled at him and looked disgusted, and it was one of the most disgusting non-shot attempts I've ever seen, if that's even a thing. But Ricky Rubio's ball. But what I would do is the Wolves could trade Rubio and get more assets, get something different, get someone a little younger, a big man. That's what they need. So I would love to add a Paul George to that lineup, to that team. I would envision a team that goes something like, this would be a kind of a small ball team. But I would love to see a Wolves team that started Dunn at the 1, Levine at the 2, Wiggins at the 3, Paul George at the 4, and Towns at the 5. It's a small team, but it's a great team. They could really. That's like Golden State 2.0 when they grow. So I would really love to see that. I think that Paul could be the leader on that team. From a veteran standpoint, and the closer right now, and Wiggins is very close. He might explode next year. Wiggins might just explode next year and be that that 25-point guy shooting 47%, and really doing it. So it would be really nice to see, a guy like Paul George with a guy like Wiggins, two just athletic, fast, strong wings. And, then with Levine, too, who's a great three-point shooter. And then you have Towns. I would love to see that team grow. I think that's a team that definitely can make some noise. And I think that's a team that's, with Paul George, would be 2 years away from seriously contending for a title. The next choice, kind of obvious. Not so obvious, but kind of like a two-team answer. If you can get to the Clippers or the Spurs, you're gonna put yourself in a pretty good position to be contending every year. You got Chris Paul, who's still probably the best point guard in the league. Well, I mean, no, you got Steph, you got Russell, but Chris is outplaying them in the playoffs. So, regular season is one thing. When you can go out there and just shoot crazy, whatever, but Chris Paul's playing, he plays brilliant basketball. He plays thinking man's basketball. Like, he's the kind of guy that, LeBron would want to play with because they play the game the same way. They play it the smart way, the right way. So I would very much say that those would be two teams, either the Clippers or the Spurs. I mean, you go to the Spurs, obviously they win 55 games every year for the last 20 years. So you're going to the Western Conference Finals or every year pretty much, or that you're going to the second round of the Western Conference every year. So I like either the Spurs or the Clippers for Paul George. I mean, you're Paul George. You've been balling in this league now for 5 years. Or 5 or 6 years. You're proven. You're 26 years old. It's champion. You want to win a championship next year. That should be your mindset. It's going to do so much better for your brand. So much better for your pocket. So much better for your endorsements. It's all about winning. You don't want to go to like LA and be in some turmoil, losing every game, every game losing in the West especially. So those would be my two teams in the West, and then I got another team in the East that I kind of like, that I think would be a perfect fit for him, which would be the Washington Wizards. They have a great 1-2 punch in Wall and Beal. I love John Wall. Adding a Paul George, woo! That'd be a great. That team would be filled out. That Eastern Conference would be that would get tough all of a sudden now. Now you're talking about a real Eastern Conference Finals between the Cavs and someone. The Cavs are going to just walk right through everybody this year. There might be a little stress here, a little stress there, but at the end of the day, just like last year, everyone said that when it was happening, people were like, "Oh, tough game for the Cavs," but in hindsight, everyone's like, "Oh, whew. Cavs breezed through to another one, easy run." So, him going to the Wizards, that would be a pretty good move for him as well. Now, the best move for him, it's really obvious. Go play with LeBron. LeBron loves you. You love him. You guys are boys. You guys both play the game the right way. You guys both play good defense when it's time. You guys are both great offense when it's time. You both can pass. You both can shoot. You both can score. You both rebound. I mean, putting the two of you together, that's a championship, Paul. That's a championship. Now, obviously, they can't just bring them on. They have to get rid of somebody. I would be fine with moving any one of Kyrie, Love, or Tristan to get it done. Like Tristan in a piece, Kyrie in a piece. Well, Tristan in a piece, Kyrie or Love straight up. Either one. Now, many of you, I'm sure a lot of you are thinking, okay, Love, yeah, we get that. Tristan in a piece, yeah, that'd be great, but that wouldn't happen because Tristan's not good enough. And Love probably wouldn't happen because Love might not be good enough, so it might have to go Love. But Kyrie, trade Kyrie. He's a freak. He's a beast. He's an assassin. He can throw up buckets, right? Yes, Kyrie is an animal, and I really like Kyrie. And if you gave me the choice of who I'd rather take, it would be tough between Kyrie and Love because Kyrie is gonna finish, and Kyrie can definitely give you buckets. But when he's not scoring, if he's having an off day, he can be almost, I hate to say this, but he can be almost, he's a negative player when he's not hot, you know, and it'll always be like that. He doesn't pass. He doesn't look to pass. He looks to shoot. So he's always in ISO mode. That's one of the worst things for a team. It's great when you're hot and everything you have is going in, but when nothing's going in, when you're not going in, then you end up on the bench in the third quarter, like him and Love were, and Darren Williams is winning the game because Darren Williams plays team basketball all the time. And that's what you want. You want someone who's going to play team basketball all the time. You want someone who's making heady plays and making other people better all the time, but then at the same time knows when to pick his spots, knows when he sees a lane open to go score. You know, Kyrie's got tunnel vision. He always wants to go score. I wish Kyrie always wanted to pass and then wanted to score second. If he would make that little switch in his game, keep him, and then, you know, and trade Love. But Love can't. His defense is bad, kind of just like Kyrie's. But he's a smart player. He plays team basketball. He plays the right way. He gets rebounds, and you know he fills up a stat sheet. He gets points, rebound. You know, Kyrie's gonna get you like 30 points, but he's gonna have like 2 assists and 2 rebounds. If Kevin Love's have 30 points, he'll have 12. He'll have 12 rebounds every time too. So, you know, and then when he's not scoring, he's still gonna get you 12 rebounds. That's what I like about Kevin. So, I think, you know, the Cavs, when it comes to Paul George and Kyrie, you know, to me that's almost like a wash offensively. And then you get a guy who's going to rebound. You get a guy who's going to defend. You get a guy who's, I mean, that's a 6'8", awesome, amazing wing that can defend. And the thing is, I love Darren Williams on the Cavs. Darren Williams runs an offense. He's a poor man's Chris Paul, and he's getting better and better and better in shape. And I mean, once we get to the finals, Darren Williams is going to be a key to winning this thing because Kyrie. I mean, you know, Kyrie is just. I love Kyrie, but he just doesn't get others involved. People are just standing around. You need to make your team better. You need to make your offense flow. Darren just knows exactly what to do. It's second nature to him to run an offense, whereas Kyrie, it's second nature to just score. So. That's my list. In order, I would say probably number 1, Cleveland Cavs. Number 2, Timberwolves. I'm going to throw another team in there I didn't mention, but I'm going to say number 3, Milwaukee Bucks. Even though they got players at his position, I still like, you know, him at the Milwaukee Bucks would be good, but let's go Timberwolves, you know. Timberwolves number 2, probably, I'm going to go number 3, I'm going to go Washington. Number 4, I'm going to go with the Spurs. Number 5, the Clippers. And if the Clippers are 100% healthy and ready next year, they could definitely move up. Paul George would just be I mean, that would be completing the process. I mean, that would be completing everything. But the Clippers could be higher, but right now they're number 5, and then number 6, Washington. That come right out. So Cavs number 1, T-Wolves number 2, number 3 is the Clippers, 4 is the Spurs. 5, Washington, and then 6 probably the Bucks. So that's who I'd go with. But like I said, no-brainer decision, Paul. Go with the Cavs. Go win yourself a championship next year. Be in the finals for the next 4 years straight, and win them. Okay, win them all. Win 4 in a row. Go to the Cavs. Do that. Okay. Anyway, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Talk later, guys.